I have been doing this for about 15 years now, which, yes, makes me feel very old, but also I realised recently that a lot of the tools I use every day, a lot of the plugins I use every day, are just free things that I've picked up kind of on my travels or stuff that's been recommended to me and that sort of stuff. So I thought it would be a good idea to sit down today and just go through a couple of them and see what you guys think. Maybe there's a few in there you haven't heard of, maybe there's a few in there that you really like that you have some tips and tricks for. If so, pop them in the comments below. If you have any that I haven't mentioned in this video, pop them down below as well, because we can all share and benefit from your rich wealth of knowledge. Without further ado, we have number one, which is Noise Engineering Ruiner, which is a really, really cool distortion plugin from, as I say, Noise Engineering, who I believe kind of have their foundation in Eurorack. In fact, I think Ruiner is actually a Eurorack plugin, kind of the software of it, a Eurorack module, sorry, the software of it made into a plugin. So that's super, super cool. I'm just going to start recording here. I have a drum loop in the background. It is enormously fat, this plugin, and something that I really, really like about Ruiner is that there's so many different options in here. Like you can see there's panning, you can center and move things around. There's saturation, which gets insanely aggressive. There's this octavize thing, which allows you to kind of add extra octave layers to the signal, and additional distortion as well. There's doom, chaotic sub-octave generator level, you know, which sounds really, really cool, hopefully, as I managed to demonstrate for you there. And then an overtone kind of buzz distortion in there, which kind of sounds almost like bit crushery, but not quite, which is really, really amazing. There's different kinds of filter. You can have a fixed filter or a mobile filter. There's different kinds of filter. You can play with the signal chain. I really like how as you hover over each option, you do get this thing at the top that just tells you what you're doing. There's wave folding, there's overdrive, you can control the ins and out, there's modulation with an LFO built in, you can change wave shapes and all that sort of stuff. It's really, really flexible, and it's not quite like any distortion that I personally have in my arsenal, which makes Ruiner really, really fun to use. It's not a like guitar amp simulator. It's not simulating an overdrive pedal. It's not doing any of that. This is something entirely different. This is an entirely different beastie. As I say, loads and loads of config options, configuration options in there. There's presets. loads of different presets. There's presets, I believe I only found this out the other day, by certain artists, like James Everingham. There's Snakes of Russia in here as well, which I only found literally a couple of days ago, which is really, really cool. This was recommended to me by my friend Joe Pike, who has a fantastic YouTube channel, which you should go and check out. He does like kind of Doom inspired, like Mick Gordon's Doom soundtrack inspired covers of different things. Like most recently, I think he did like the Dune soundtrack, some of that sort of stuff, which is really, really cool. He's really good at it. And I was talking to him about a project that I have ongoing in the background, and he recommended me this, which I really, really appreciate. So thank you, Joe, and hopefully you get some mileage out of that. All you need to be able to get this plugin and a whole bunch of other plugins, including a couple of synths, I believe, from Noise Engineering, it's just pop your email address in, and yeah, totally worth doing. Really, really cool. On to the next one. The next thing that I want to show you is Xfer's OTT. Now, Xfer's OTT is insanely popular in like the kind of EDM space and all that sort of stuff, but as somebody who only very recently got into making electronic music, I genuinely hadn't heard it. I had no idea what it was, never seen it before. I was reading through an article and somebody mentioned OTT in the comments of that article, I think, about being a really extreme, really crazy, creative compressor. So I picked it up. Again, it is completely free and it's unhinged. It is insane. It's an up and down compressor, so it can really, really annihilate your signal. It's multi-band, high, mid, and low, and it can do things that are just unhinged. I have that same drum loop up again, but I would really recommend, if you do decide to get OTT and you want to have a play with it, just get a sine wave and some white noise over the top of it coming out of Serum or whatever your synth of choice might be, and just crush it with OTT and see what you can do with different effects and delays and stuff before OTT, because you can get some unhinged things from OTT. Let's have a look. It is completely and totally insane, this compressor. As you can hear there, with as you play with the time and the depth controls and the upward and downward compression level, you can just get some absolutely crazy kind of effects and sounds as that compressor, the really, really heavy, really aggressive compression, just bites and releases and bites and releases. Again, it's really, really obvious on this drum loop, which is why I've chosen to show you in that way. But if you just get like a sine wave and run it through OTT and automate it and compress the crap out of it and all that sort of stuff, especially in conjunction with something like Ruiner or some of the other plugins that we're going to go through in a second. You can get some really, really crazy, effective sound designy weirdness going on, which is worth having a look at, I think. And again, completely free, so why not? Next up, we have Native Instruments Raum, which is this kind of huge, amazing ambient reverb plugin with 3 different modes and a freeze function, which can be automated in DAW, which is really, really cool. I would actually recommend, if you're looking for free stuff, go on the Native Instruments website and go and find Complete Start. Complete is Native Instruments kind of plugin package, plugins and instrument package. If you pick up Complete Start, it's free other than your email address and some kind of, you have to download Native Access, I believe it's called, to be able to use and install the plugins. That's kind of the Native Instruments kind of client gateway thing, whatever you want to call it. But it is completely free, and you get a really amazing delay plugin in there as well called Replica, which is also killer, and a whole bunch of other stuff, especially if you're into lo-fi. There's Contact instruments. Contact, if you don't know, is like a sampler. Loads of really, really amazing stuff in there, totally free. So go and check that out. The one we're going to focus on now, though, is Raum. I've written a little piano thing so that I can kind of tweak as we go. So let's have a gander. I love that. I absolutely, genuinely, I love that. It's killer. It's such a good reverb. It really, really blows me away that it's free. To be honest, it's a bit like, dare I say it, having something along the lines of a Strymon Big Sky, or that kind of, you know, big, ambient, washy, cloudy, glorious reverb in your DAW for literally no money. That's crazy. That's crazy. It really is fantastic. There's presets. There's all sorts of fantastic stuff in there for you to go and have a look at. You can use it for kind of less creative reverbs, I guess, more like, you know, plate, room, hall, all that sort of thing. That's not really what it's for. It doesn't really have presets for that either. It's more kind of, it sort of does, I suppose, but it's more aimed at those huge, just amazing, washy, incredible reverbs. If you are into that sort of thing, especially if you're looking for a cool reverb plugin with a freeze built in a plugin format, so not in a pedal or something like that, then go and check out Raum. Again, totally free, totally killer. that's it. I thought I'd just do 3, try and keep this video relatively concise. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time. Pop in the comments down below. Have you heard of these plugins before? Are you going to check them out? If you do check them out and you make something, pop it down in the comments or go over to the Nevermore Audio forum, which I will link in the description, and post what you've made, because I would love to hear it and I will check it out. We have a small little community over there. It's a bit quiet at the moment because, again, really small, really new, but it's building all the time, and I would love to have you on board and chatting away. Share your music if you make some, and I'd love to hear it. If you know any plugins, or if you have any free plugin recommendations, or maybe very cheap plugin recommendations that you think are really, really cool and that I should have mentioned, then let me know, because obviously this was only 3 and I'll probably do some more follow-ups of these. I have a couple of synths that I'd like to show off as well. I did a kind of paid synth video, obviously synths that you have to pay for, a couple of months ago, and I'd love to follow that up with some really cool free stuff as well, so I think I'll do that in the future. Once again, thank you for watching. Really, really appreciate you taking the time. I will see you very soon.